Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people. Rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective. It's a collective. Get to the bottom where the truth is. Where the heart's uncovered. Where you detox from all of the lies you smothered. Where them tries could have killed you. But with faith you recover. Yeah. Peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up. Execute goals regardless. Decalcify my pineal. Breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing age rotations, down me we owe. So down me we know. Sometimes we can't be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable, it's so hard to reflect on all the Jews life taught you. It's on you, tell the truth. Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the...
Hi, everybody. I'm Kimberly with the Unseen Twisted Truths, and we are the People's Podcast. And I have my co-host, Henry.
Hey, what's good, everybody? How's it going?
And then I have Believe Me Not.
How's it going? Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And I'm supposed to have Richard come on, and so that might happen. It takes him a minute because like the universe really works for him, but technology doesn't. Technology kicks him out of everything.
Yeah, they love Richard here.
Yeah. So I think it's because the universe works for him so well that technology is like, yeah, no, we ain't getting your message out there. You know when you're on the show, sometimes you get glitches and all of a sudden things start kicking you off because you're speaking knowledge.
Yeah.
That's what they do to Richard. So I was gonna have Eric on, but Eric was busy doing something all night long, so he wasn't able to make it. So we got Richard to replace Eric, and sometimes Richard is able to come on, and sometimes he ain't. So we're gonna play right here and see what Richard does. If not, I'm sure you're gonna give us enough. And how are you feeling?
Woke up the other day with a stuffy nose. Got a lot of congestion in my throat, but other than that, feeling pretty wonderful. It's not too bad.
Oh, that's good. I wore I laid back and chilled more and didn't wear all black for this interview because you were coming on here and stayed properly hydrated. Kind of inside joke.
So tell everybody
Only
about
some
you.
people know.
Yeah, that was a select few crowd for that one, which is predominantly you. So please go ahead. No.
We should have had some drums, then we could have went ba-ba-da-ba-ba.
Yeah.
So I'm a 19-year-old theta healer. I got my first certification in theta healing about 7 months ago. About a year and a half ago, my grandma introduced me to the first level of Reiki. So that's like when I first started getting into energy work. But when I found theta and took theta at the beginning of this year, it like completely transformed my life. It gave me like all the answers I felt like I was looking for my whole life. It was like putting words to names and stuff that I had been doing, pretty much my whole life. And then I took the second class and it really just changed my life. It was like they're only 3-day classes, and coming out of both of those classes like completely changed me just after 3 days,
I don't know what theta is.
Yes, for our viewers at home. Yes, absolutely. Let's get
For Kimberly even, nonetheless.
So theta is a brain state. We have our 5 brain states, and theta can be referred to as like the subconscious parts of your minds. It's a lot of the parts of the brain that you're not using. It's where a lot of the information gets stored. So theta healing is almost kind of like quantum healing or hypnotherapy.
Okay.
So it's accessing the person's subconscious parts of their minds. It's the practitioner puts them into a theta state, and then the practitioner goes into a theta state and says the command. And while both of you are in a theta state with a connection, because the practitioner is the witness, you don't actually do the healing. It usually is very powerful healings. It's pretty instant too.
So is it almost like for the Kundalini?
Sort of.
Okay.
It's a completely whole different modality in its own. It's not like any modality I've ever practiced or learned about before. And it's like honestly, it's like suppressed. It's not talked about a lot. You don't see a lot of people talking about theta, even though there's like a foundation and so many different healers doing this stuff. You don't see it anywhere.
Yeah.
See, and I felt that way with Reiki because I'm a Reiki spiritual healer, so I'm in phase 2, and I got 2 more sessions, and I'll be a teacher. So I didn't know nothing about Reiki, and I worked in the medical field for over 20 years, and I had no clue what it was, and I kept hearing it, and people kept talking about it, and it was only a select few, and it was only once in a while. It wasn't like it was something every day. And I'm like, what is Reiki? And I studied, and I was like, oh, hell yeah, that's right up my alley. Like, that's so was me.
Well, we got a lot going on in our subconscious. I don't think nearly enough people are tapping into that and trying to figure out why or get answers to a lot of the things that are troubling you or holding you back in life. A lot of that can be derived from what the heck's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, really. And theta healing, it was like a beautiful understanding. It was like my whole life I always thought about like we're all like in our own little bubbles producing our own little world. You know what I'm saying? We're all seeing things differently based upon what the person believes, and it's like that is what theta healing is. Theta healing's all about belief work. It's about, in order to be a theta healer, you got to believe in beliefs. You got to believe that beliefs shape your reality, and that if you shift a belief or change a belief, that your reality can change.
It's good to believe in something,
I need to look into that. I swear I do, because I saw that when you first mentioned it, like a little thing inside me, like a light came on and was like, "Hey, you need to look into that." Like something was telling me I should reach into that because I think I need to know what that is.
You really should. Theta healing, like I said, 3-day classes. The current foundation produced by Viana, I will say the classes are pretty expensive. I think I had to pay $500 for each of the classes I took for 3 days. Most people don't have that. It was kind of hard to get, especially at my age. But honestly, it was worth it. Like for the experience to have the in-person teacher tell you everything that you've been thinking, and going through your whole life, it was really awesome.
Yeah, hands-on. That would be something definitely you want to do hands-on to learn. Not like
I never even done shrooms, and I know I have to because I have a blockage of some sort. So
Yeah.
I do believe that's right down my path of things that I have to do to free myself because yeah, I'm not doing this again. I gotta free myself.
Yeah, I'm very resistant. I personally don't do those anymore, not a lot. I haven't since New Year's, almost 8 months now. But I used to be a frequent user and advocate for microdosing and things like that because, growing up where I was, it was, had a lot of the underlying issues, as Henry said earlier. You got things in there, and those mushrooms, the microdosing, really actually helped me fix a lot of them things within me.
Yeah, because
Speaking of that, I was going to say, what got you into TikTok? What got you into this to propel you into this? Where maybe do you come from? Let's.
So I got I got the download last year to start making TikToks that I need to be talking about my story and what I'm going through and everything like that. And it's just I was really resistant because of the area I grew up in. My whole life, I grew up in a very Christian, a small town, southern town in Florida. There's a church on every block. I wasn't allowed to talk about what I believed in. So there was still that little voice that everyone has in the back of your head, telling you, oh, you shouldn't do that. Don't start that. Just hesitate and putting it off yourself. And then after my first theta class, I was like, I really got to start talking. I really got to put myself out there. And I still had it. But after my first theta class, right in the middle of the second class, the advanced DNA class, I had a dream where I accessed the Akashic records and I seen my TikTok page and I was like, oh, so I really am supposed to be doing that stuff and posting on there. So that's when I finally, at the end of the second class, those final 3 days, came out a completely new person again. And I was like, okay, you can't keep procrastinating. You can't keep thinking about what everyone else is going to say. You just got to put yourself out there and be a leader. Don't be a follower. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, good job.
So there's weird things that people believe in around here, and the name Believe Me Not. I appreciate that because you're not telling people to believe in you. If you're telling them actually not to, and if they choose to, then that's on them.
Exactly. I thought
You're
I
not
was very
saying-
clever.
Yeah, you're not saying believe what I'm saying because I'm speaking truth. You're saying if it's in you, then you'll feel the truth. If it's not, then don't believe me because I'm not telling you to.
There's a creator given
there we
name,
go.
honestly.
Hello, Richard.
How's it going?
Can you hear us, Richard? I told you technology don't like Richard.
Yeah, he hasn't even started yet, and they're going to stomp his ass out. That's so sad. We want to hear you,
Richard,
Richard.
can you hear us?
It's not working for him.
No, he has nothing
And
but
nor will
problems.
it. I hope it does.
I hope it does too.
It's
Rich-
got a tone, a frequency crackle in it. I'm hearing it like distorted.
Okay. So we have Believe Me Not, and he's a theta healer.
How's it going? Nice to meet you.
And then we got Richard.
We got Richard. Richard's a Generation X. Richard is someone that they used as a tool in their weapon. They like
I
experiment.
gotta
They used him as an
Another
experiment
shit.
and seeing what they could and couldn't do.
He was bringing in the energy, setting the foundation.
Yeah, he was.
And
I
they know it.
appreciate all of you. Y'all were doing the real work. Now you got all these new people coming in. You guys set the foundation. You guys made it possible so all our youngins could come in here and receive these energy and downloads.
That is good. I'm glad we could bring you that technology. I don't have a gosh darn tootin' idea how to use any of this crap. It's really hard. I always get stopped all the time. Damn.
What's the sign
Makes
say?
me feel- What's the sign say? That's a good
I don't
song.
know what it said.
So lived and lived.
Oh,
let me see.
So as we're catching up here, what's going on? We got Richard coming on, and it's causing technological difficulties because it happens sometimes. I tested that theory for a minute.
What's up with this audio?
we can hear you, Richard. He can't hear us, but we can hear him.
No.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see. I'm looking. I should have.
Oh, he's cutting out again.
That's because it doesn't like him. I
Oh,
swear.
It's
Technology
like
just
he's
doesn't like him
Jason Bourne.
for real. And Richard at one time had his own YouTube channel and all that stuff, but they were trying to tell him what he can have for advertisements, what he can't have for advertisements. So he was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not
Dang.
supporting stuff I don't believe in."
Yeah, that's me right there.
Yeah, so Richard told them to keep their money and take their channel and run with it. So they did. So now they're not letting him use no technology whatsoever. Like it does this to him.
No, he's either froze up or the best sniper hold position man I've ever seen. Let me look
Yeah.
at that. Yeah, he's got it. Oh,
And
boy.
he actually is very in tuned and I don't want to say woke. I don't like that word. Just aware.
He's just very
Yeah.
conscious
Very
of his consciousness.
yes of this
That's a painful burden. You gotta get used to.
is.
Ignorance
You have to
is
figure out-
bliss. They told us. They tried to
That's
warn
like-
us.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
did try to warn us and we didn't listen. Crazy.
For me, it was listening to rock musicians and NWA and stuff. They tried to warn us. This is all happening now. I don't know. I'm glad we got people speaking out. I'm glad we got theta healers coming to light. I'm glad people are talking about their feelings because they really discourage you from talking about your feelings. Shut up, be a man, tough it out. Don't you talk,
Yeah.
It sucks. So it is kind of a hard hurdle to get over, especially with social media.
There's a
Well,
lot of
not only that-
agendas.
you've seen the comments that they make on his stuff. Some of the people, like, we had people comment on our stuff, and that was really inappropriate and just weird, like for no reason, just random fucking bullshit come on trickling out their mouth, and they think it's acceptable. They say some shit to him, and he's 19, and they're just gonna go. Now he's 19 this time, like he's above them, like they should respect their elders, but they're not.
I don't know. I respect people if they deserve respect. I believe that's
yeah,
shitty.
but it's not even if they don't. People should love themselves enough that you automatically just give it.
Yeah, so many people are quick to like hate and separate. They're like, if you don't have my belief system, if you're contradicting my belief system, you're wrong. And it's like, it's not how the world works, everyone's at their own stage. They're doing their own thing in their own little bubbles,
So I want to hear what they say when they say that you are the Antichrist. What's your comeback? I love it.
Okay, so I had just like a funny dream on that. It was like all the Christians, they were coming at me. They kept saying I was the Antichrist and things like that. And it was really funny. So then the next morning, I just had this perfect like download when I woke up. Like, that little state you're in when you're just laying in your bed, but you still got your eyes closed. You don't want to get up. Well, that's where I receive like a lot of my downloads for the day. That's where I receive, I should probably talk about that. And, I go write it down and remember to make a video about it. And I received that one, and it was like, it's not that I'm the Antichrist. I am Antichrist because Jesus Christ never even existed. His name was Yeshua, and all of them know what his proper name is, yet they still use this false indoctrinated name just because they're confirmation biased. They live their whole life only searching information that supports a pre-existing belief system, and that's not how you evolve. And the whole reason we're here as humans is to evolve, to change, and you can't live your life confirmation biased, just searching out information that you got, information that supports the information in which you attained when you were 6 years old. You got to actually change, be willing to grow.
Yeah, you got to have a healthy, flourishing mind. We've lost a lot of things.
So you said that you are the Antichrist from the what? Your skin is the crystalline.
Yeah, so how I know it, or at least the teachings in which I've been taught, so like they say, 666, mark of the beast, that is the third plane. That's becoming physical. That's becoming a human. Satan, the word for Satan, which is actually just a derivative from the Set, the Egyptian god Set, that's where Satan came from. Satan is a representation of the body, of the self. What happens when you identify with this body too much? Because you're not this body. You're much more than. This is just a temple. In this whole Christ thing, number one, Jesus actually transfers to Lusos. And when you look at the etymology behind the word Jesus Christ and Lusos, it actually ends up breaking down to Hail Zeus. They're all worshiping Baal. They're worshiping a false god in the Bible, even though the Bible and a lot of the texts in which they've stolen are Yahweh's texts. That's why there's so much contradiction, and that was the whole point of the Bible, was to contradict, because when you have two or more beliefs within the human body, you create dis-ease, and you got all these individuals with dis-ease within themselves, and they're going to spread it outwards and create all this negativity. So the whole reason it's Christ, Jesus Christ, is you got the Hail Zeus, but they're mocking you with the Christ crystalline consciousness. You are the morning star, you are Lucifer, you are Satan, you are all these different angels and demons. They all exist within you. They're a part of your fifth plane of your reality, the plane of ascended masters, where you actually exist, where your higher self is. And when you activate,
you're not suggesting that we're God too, are you?
Oh, I might be.
Well, we are, though. We are divine God within us. The Bible, this is my opinion only. I am not speaking on anything that is fact, because I am not there and I was not there. I did not see it. But the Bible's a metaphor, and it's not what people will stand on. That's my belief only.
Yeah, it's third person encounters, number one. So the information can't even be taken like face value. It can't be used in an argument or scientifically whatsoever because it's a third person source.
Mhm.
And all these Christians forget this, that it was written 900 years after the person they worship dies. So it's most likely not a proper account whatsoever.
No, I'm sorry to cut you off earlier. Yeah, actually, I felt like you were going to lead into that, and it was probably wrong of me. But I 100% agree with you. People put these belief structures have been handed down and down, and of course, to suggest all religions are related on a completely contradictory level is, that's ridiculous to say.
Yeah.
And if you read back, there's not 12 months out of the year, 12 disciples, and it's not all written down over and over and over again. But
It's right in
it's
front of
been
them.
kind of ridiculous how people have been pushing it, and I sometimes find it ridiculous that we wake up and it's common.
Yeah.
It's just
I get tired of it sometimes too. It's like, when are you guys ever going to stop trying to force your beliefs on the other individuals for validation? Because when you look at it, they're all believing in what we're believing in. They all believe in the same things, whether you be, Islamic or Christian currently, you have Israelite faith.
Yeah.
You are from the 12
Yeah.
tribes of Israelites. And same thing with the Hebrews. The Hebrews were a extension of the 12 tribes of Israelites. And when you look at these 12 tribes, they were actually all just descendants of like Greek. They were all just different portions of the Greek and Rome empires that broke off, and they took power when those empires fell off. So you have that religion, the Greek and Romans, which built their entire faith on the Canaanites' faith, the Elohim, which is why when you look at it, Elohim is actually Yahweh. Elohim, Yahweh, was the name in which the king actually adopted because these Canaanite gods actually existed. And that's the story of Enki and Enlil. Enki was the one that was liked. He adopted the name Elohim, Yahweh. He was trying to show the people the way. And then you got the Cain and Abel, which is the exact same thing. Enlil didn't like that, killed him, and now everyone worships Baal, Bible. You got a Bible, it's Bible. They worship Baal, the storm god from the Elohim, or Enlil. It's all the same stuff. It's all
the thing is, the definition of the Bible is basic instructions before leaving this earth. It doesn't say believe in me or you're not going nowhere. It's basic instructions. It's just a metaphor for loving yourself. God is you, my opinion. And all we have to do is become perfect. I don't know. We have to become perfect to release ourselves and to truly pass love, because that's what we're supposed to be here for.
Well, there's that, but I really don't appreciate Leviticus, and that's my one thing, my one bugaboo in there, because it kind of directly goes right at me. And there's a whole bunch of other insane things, like, they burned a lot of witches. All I'm saying, back in the day, they didn't burn any witches. They burned a bunch of women. Ridiculous for these insane traditions. And it is completely muddled up at this point, and none of it makes any sense.
Well, it's all Satanist to me.
Yeah, it's because, the teachings have been lost. They're worshiping the false prophets, as they say, and they don't even realize it. What they're worshiping is an egregore. What they're using, what they're accessing, is what we call an egregore, which is just a collective group of people came together and made an entity or being to worship. They made this thought form that then, as long as other individuals feed this thought form, it's going to become a bigger and bigger and more powerful thing and control your reality on a larger scale. And everyone, this Bible, the Islamic faith, the Hebrew faith, all of it is a derivative of the 12 tribes and their egregore, and they are all worshiping a man-made religion. That's why you got the story of a woman come out of a man. That's not physically possible. That's not how life works. It's a man-made religion. It's a man's ego talking in those books.
Mm-hmm.
The only proper point.
They all had undiagnosed mental illnesses. The people who wrote these books. I mean, they were saying burning bushes and shit.
Go ahead.
And it's like all these individuals, they didn't even know what they were talking about. It's like, when you actually look into the Bible, when you start to read the books they left out, go read the book of Abraham. It's like Abraham never even learns the name of the Holy Spirit. Abraham never learns the name of the Creator, and he says that. And it's like, you guys claim to have Abrahamic faith, these Israelites' faith, yet you don't even do what they do. You don't even realize, like, the ignorance of what you're actually doing and the contradiction of what you're doing, especially when they preach like, don't use the Lord's name in vain, yet they want to say Jesus Christ. It's like, you know his proper name. Why are you using that name?
Yeah, for sure.
Right. I mean, Lucifer into himself is a contradiction of God's infallibility. So it's, I mean, the fact that he did what he did and he does what he does, doesn't that kind of render God infallible since he was an angel and he did fall from heaven under God's rule?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of a weird loophole in my mind that I've always thought of. I mean, one of many.
Well,
And
the
then-
thing is, though, the word Yahweh came from breathing in and breathing out. It's the breath in and breath out. That's basically what the name of the divine self is. It's breath.
Yeah.
It was actually first constructed like back in the ancient days when they still practice ancient hermetic principles, when they still use the things that I talk about in my videos, the 7 planes of your reality.
Mhm.
This is ancient technology, as people like to say, that goes back to Egypt and Sumeria. This is like the stuff that was been passed on to like pharaohs and mystic schools and hidden across society because people, they'd be afraid of it once they knew what it actually was, what this reality actually is, We all are the creator. We're all an extension of this 7th plane. And then you got all the laws. Then you got your higher mind, your higher self, the 5th plane. Then you got the astral, the 4th plane, the realm of spirit. Then you got the 3rd plane, the realm of carbon-based structures. You're 666, the mark of the beast. You're the fallen angel. You chose to come and do this to yourself. And then I'm going to go into the point I was making earlier because I forgot to finish it. When you activate your morning star here, that begins to vibrate at a certain hertz, what people call a crystalline hertz, that 144 hertz that everyone's trying to reach, And when that begins to vibrate at that certain frequency, it activates in the body what people call the Christo oil, or the Christ oil. Crystalline consciousness, Christ consciousness, whatever you want to view it as. In doing that, it turns your carbon-based structure, this mark of the beast, 666, it turns the prana being produced at your cerebrum to crystalline base. You become crystalline consciousness, essentially merging the 5th plane of your reality, where all these higher entities or energies that are a part of you, into the 3rd plane of your reality, so you can use it on a day-to-day basis. That's where like all that energy that came into Earth from Dolores Cannon, that ascending to 5D movement, that's what that was prepping us for an explanation of this stuff and how it actually works.
So does that work at all by tapping into, you work with pineal gland, you're like, because we're not activating that. And they said that's one of your pathways to see the other dimensions and realities, And then people talk about experimenting with DMT and stuff too, which I haven't. I could obviously
Well, that's
say
what the
that.
crystalline is, the release of the
Yeah.
DMT.
The
That is what
DMT.
it is. I actually personally, I've wanted to try the Don't Mention This, the DMT, but I've never had an experience. I hope to eventually. I want to do that and ayahuasca. I'm sure that'll be completely eye-opening and life-changing for me.
And that's what I'm saying about mushrooms.
Right.
I've never done it before in my life, and I know I need to because I feel like I have to do something. I can't even look at myself in the mirror for a long time. Not because I can't look at myself, because I love myself, because I can't look into the mirror to look into the souls of the past. I can't look into me. Not
It
yet.
can be really good at opening up your mind like that, Kimberly. What I want to do, it's been a long time since I did rooms, and I want to do some rooms again. Just kind of walk around the woods for 4 or 5 hours and just get back in touch with nature and reality.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a good
funny
thing.
both of you are saying that because I actually, picked some up today. I haven't done it in 8 months, but I did get some today.
I don't want to microdose, though. I want to do 10 grams for real. I'm for real have to release.
I've been
And once
thinking
again,
of maybe I could use it.
I'm glad you guys
We
get
keep
to
talking
finish
about it
the
for a
recording.
reason, and you picked it up for a reason, so you might as well.
Yeah, I got some in the room here. We should all just microdose tonight. Kimberly,
I don't have any, so let's not all.
I'll get to you. No, oh, shit.
But the thing is, though, see, and what people are afraid of, people rather stay divided than realize that we're all one.
Yeah, that really is what it is. Everyone that rooted in their separation, they're rooted in hate. And it's because they're rooted in that separation, they're rooted in hate, that they spread all that. Not because they mean to, not because they're conscious. Because a lot of them have trauma bonds with these certain emotions and don't even know that they have trauma bonds with these emotions. So
Yeah.
they can't even realize when they're being like this, you know, narcissist. We got a big narcissist problem. Everyone's calling everyone a narcissist right now.
And
And it's just
gaslighting.
because a lot of people don't know what they're dealing with.
Yeah.
They're acting a certain way and they don't know why they're dealing with that or hurting like that, because it's not their problems. They're carrying other people's problems, a lot of them. And so
Yeah,
because they have
talk-
because they have this negativity and this bad stuff within them, that it's not like they're purposely trying to spread it, but they're seeking validation outward still, and that's how they spread it, because they're not fulfilled within themselves, because they
Yeah.
still have this hate and separation rooted in their beliefs.
Oh yeah.
So they're not purposefully trying to spread it, but they're seeking validation outwards, and that's what it's a result of.
So
And that's important. No, go ahead.
I tell everybody to go read the book, The Four Agreements. If you want to start off learning to love and to let go read the book, The Four Agreements, because the agreements of others are not yours. You got to realize that somebody else's belief is not yours. We all are here for one purpose, and that's to share love. But we don't have the same lessons we have to learn. We don't have the same journeys we have to go on. Yours is different than mine. His is different than mine. Like, we're all different. That's why we're all have our own markings, but yet we're on the same path and having to do the same thing.
Right.
We got to
And
repeat this lesson over and over until we get it done right.
Well, I don't think we hate Christians either, in case anybody's got the idea from that. At least I don't. I don't hate anybody. I think if you talk to somebody enough, you really break barriers and boundaries and stuff. And we don't help people either. You got the mental health crisis going on, and everybody's walking around with a head full of anger and problems at home and everything. And it's kind of hard to get society back on track with that.
Hate is heavy. I can't do heavy. And the only thing I do not like and I do hate is when my dog licks his crotch for way too long when I'm trying to sleep. If I'm gonna hate something, that's what I hate. I can't hate something that I can't control, because it's not my place. It's none of my business. A lot of people need to mind their own damn business.
That is a lot of their problems. They're all worried about the wrong things. They're not focused on their self.
I say that all the time.
If you were so fulfilled within yourself, if you were so, doing good within yourself, why do you care what I believe? Why are you worried about what I'm saying? Go make your own videos.
Yeah. And someone said something to me about my my locks. Well, I don't even call them that. My ethers. Someone said something to me about my ethers and that I shouldn't have them, and that I'm mocking something. I'm mocking something, and I am not going to say what they're saying because that's bringing power to hate. I'm just saying I'm mocking something, and I say Ashe, and they say that I'm making fun of something, and I don't have a understanding or understanding what I could be making fun of, because I'm comfortable within myself and I'm doing it for me, not for them. And me saying Ashe is no different than saying blessings or amen.
Truthfully.
But I'm not saying nothing about a man, because I'm not giving power to something that's temporary. I'm not giving power to, this is just a vehicle we're driving right now. I'm not going to give power to that and say amen. So I prefer to say Ashe, which is a blessing, which means the same, kind of.
I like it. I've been kind of trying to use it.
Yeah, actually, I didn't know what it meant before now, so I haven't used it, but I've always thought it was a pretty cool word.
It's just blessings. That's all it is. It's just blessings. And it's the same thing as saying bless you or amen. But I don't, like I said, I don't want to go around saying amen, because I'm not praying to amen.
Yeah. It's just they're rooted in separation. They want to see separation. They want to see hate. They want to feel special. And it's like, yo, the reason there's so many like colors and different flavors here is for like the culture. It's for like the appreciation of culture. Culture's meant to be shared. Everyone who's actually like proud and love their culture wants to share it. Even like these indigenous tribes in the middle of nowhere, isolated, want to share their culture sometimes. Like I just seen like a video today of like an isolated Mayan tribe that was still alive, and they did like a video with these people, and it was really cool to learn about because they want to share their culture. They want people to experience it. It's like you guys are still rooted in separation. You're still rooted in negativity and hate when you're spreading that stuff. All of us are exactly the same.
And the reason why technology is doing so good is because our brains are so clogged with bullshit and our body's so filled with bullshit that we cannot speak how we're supposed to speak, and that's through energy and through mind. We're supposed to be able to speak through each other's minds. We're supposed to be able to, I could say something to you, Henry, right now, and you're supposed to know what I'm saying through my thought, because that's how energy transfers. But because we're so built up on bullshit and clogged that we can't free ourselves enough to even let our brain shut down. It's a tool. So we can't shut the tool down because it give it too much power so that we are able to focus.
I feel you on that one though, Kimberly, because I can hear you over Messenger or something. It's like I get ding in my head and I'm like, I message you, I'm like, what's wrong? And you're like, this happened. Are you okay? I'm like, no. Boom, there's the universe, like it's picking up the damn phone for you. I think when you really start getting in tune with people like that, you can develop a good group of people who are just like, what's up, man? I smelled something in the air. Are you all right? No, I'm not. I love that shit. I love that. Humans are missing out on so much communication.
Well, before words, there was sound and there was like noise and vibrations, and that's how people talked and communicated. So people forget where we all really originally came from.
Especially a lot of these, like when you see a lot of these ancient languages or sacred languages, it's like when you listen to them or hear them, it's like they're not even saying words. It's kind of like they were just making sounds.
Yeah.
Primitive language, yeah. I mean, Aramaic and what's the other one? What am I thinking of? Aramaic and doesn't matter, whatever. Sumerian.
Yeah,
right?
Aramaic is interesting. I'm trying to learn about the Aramaic etymology of things and where, because that's like one of the first writing languages we had. That's where a majority of things come from, and it's like, this language doesn't make no sense.
None. And they're it actually really is spells, though. If you sit there and look at what they're trying to do, and they're trying to get us to pass spells on by certain words that we say, and I'm not comfortable with a lot of words that they say. But if you can hear a plant talk by hooking this machine up to it and feel the vibrations from it, that's what our throats are supposed to be doing. That's what, if we breathe properly, but nobody breathes properly either. But if we breathe properly, our body will recycle and flow itself, that we don't have to have nothing but to survive.
No.
Truthfully.
But people can't do that.
We're supposed to be able to survive on breath alone, you know? We weren't always eating like we were. Nowadays, the average human eats 12 times more a day than they should. It's like, we just love to overconsume.
And that's the thing, too.
It's actually terrible.
I wish we loved to overconsume with love. I wish people felt that way about love. If they really wanted to overconsume something, then love each other.
Well, I'm not going to ever stop saying this, but when I was throwing trash, I noticed firsthand throwing out Dollar General. Whoa, almost said bad things like that. Not them, but definitely restaurants, every kind of stores like that. They throw it out. They waste. You split a case of food open, break one of them, the whole container gets written off and thrown out. And not really policy to be able to take that shit home. They want that to stay in the dumpster. And that's happening everywhere. And there's store after store after store after restaurant. Why not give that food to everybody? We could collectively be working together. Why isn't people? I mean, we could do this. It would feed at least the problem here. And then some, I think.
That's why I hate the system we live in as a whole, the Babylon system, capitalism, whatever you want to call it, where we literally are forced to eat from each other's hands. Like, you can't go up one side of the scale without tipping the other side of the scale. There's always a winner and a loser in this system that we live in today. And it's like, it's sad, honestly. It's a stressful world. It's like, we've been taught time and time again to focus on love, to spread love, to be love. and we've strayed so far from it as society as a whole. We don't care about the next person whatsoever.
No.
Everyone's quick to share memes about it. And it bums me. I quit sharing memes. I just make content now. I just write out paragraphs and shit and just say things
I've
because
thought
I
about
don't
it.
know.
I've thought
What's
about
that?
being one of the meme boys who helps awaken with memes, and it's like
A meme lord.
I
It's
got
okay. It's good. It's honest work.
it's like I
It's fun.
got
I like
better
honest
things
work.
to say.
I don't know. The funny
It's-
ones are good.
Yeah, well, the thing is, though, you get in trouble for that shit. Just let you know, because I get in trouble for that, and all I did was share people's shit. So they don't really want you to support each other. They honestly don't. The funny thing is, though, now we were going to talk about how CNN got on the news, or CNN is the news, whatever. I don't watch TV, so but CNN got on, and they were saying that now there's supposedly aliens and stuff like that. Like, I'm not a human. Like, I don't know what people think that we're all aliens. Like, it didn't just happen.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I'm interested to see where our government's going. You know, all those people talk about Project Bluebeam. Project Bluebeam's already happened. It's all the fear and propaganda they've been spreading for the past 60 years. And now all they're going to do is make up these little alien stories, and you guys are going to eat each other alive. And then they put a hologram in your sky, and now all of you are freaking the fuck out. I mean, what was it, last year? Or 2 years ago, somewhere around the range of years ago, Japan, when we had the Olympics in Tokyo, they did the drone show. You guys remember they were making all the images with drones, and that's been like a pretty popular thing over there in Japan now, doing drone shows. And it's like they could definitely do something like that and freak the hell out of people. You start doing that at 11 o'clock at midnight over New York City.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the problem with being red pilled is you got to, and then when you do it, it makes you insane. So there's no meaning. You cannot fight. Like even trying to fight it, it's just you get buried after a minute, and if you don't take a break, you end up saying psycho things and then apologizing for it, and then blowing your stack, and then people look at you like you're crazy. Like that's happened to me. Like I'm using that as a first person perspective. I have been a little like coarse before. But you can't fight it. It's hard to fight.
It's easy to fall down them little rabbit holes.
Yeah.
You know, to be like Alice. There's a lot of, like I shared just the other day, 99% of the information out there, it's like useless. It's meant to confuse you. It's literally someone learned something else from someone and then they just reiterated it in their own way to make themselves feel special. That's like a lot of the information that we got nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Reiterated shit. And it's like 99.9% of the stuff they're feeding you, it's incorrect. You know, the stuff they want you to see, the stuff you're most likely going to come across naturally, unless you're searching for it, it's probably fake.
Yeah.
That organic feed stuff, it's probably fake. You know what I'm saying? Like chemtrails. Chemtrails has been a big thing. Global warming's a big thing. I've talked about it a few times. None of the videos ever do good. Probably not. The whole thing of chemtrails, you know, they're not poisoning us. They're not trying to kill us. You don't think someone would have stopped that by now? What they're actually doing is they're putting an extra reflective layer in your sky. You know how clouds come rolling in flat, how it looks like they kind of make clouds and they start to expand? Is the chemical that they're putting in the air attaches to clouds, starts to form clouds in that atmosphere, that layer they put it in, and it makes flat ass clouds, and they become really reflective, and it bounces the light rays back and forth, and it's heating up the earth. They're the ones causing global warming. They're the ones doing all this shit, making it so much of a bigger problem. It's what chemtrails actually are.
And my theory is the reason why they're doing that is because when the sun starts burning people, they're going to say the aliens came down and that the aliens are attacking people and that the aliens are black. So they can start this big old war again all over again because they're really concerned with this whole race and separation. They don't want people to be one.
No. Race separation and I don't know.
Hate. And the thing is, they're no different than believing in the belief systems, different belief systems, no different than people believing in money.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Well,
Yeah,
we
I
gotta-
don't understand. You got all this alien talk currently because of the UFO things. I can't understand all the people saying aliens are demonic and shit like that. It's like, you guys are still just rooted in fear. You just got your Christian belief system and you've twisted it a little bit. Now you're a Christian, but you think aliens are real. So you're going to say they're demonic? That's not how that works.
No.
Right. I mean, I don't have a problem with freaking Vikings. You know, there's some really cool religions out there and shit. Buddhism, that's pretty chill. You know, all that. They're not trying to kill you with it. I guess that's my biggest problem with the other ones.
And
Yeah.
the big issue with Christians is, it's like you're supposed to have freedom of religion, but we're in a Babylon system. We're in a Christian system,
Yeah.
All these people in power, they are Christians. They're a form of Christian. They're all pushing this message, and you'd think like people would realize what it is and why it is the way that it is.
Yeah, it's nuts. And I think we have too many nuclear weapons on this planet to be believing in gods and letting them run the show anymore. Honestly, that's a big thing for me. That's scary.
We've been our biggest downfall since the start,
We're more powerful than all their weapons they have.
We are too.
But we're
Humans
so
can't
dumb.
being human.
We're so dumbed down because they made us weak. And I can't say us because I'm not going to put myself in no category, but they made humans weak, that they believed in something that someone told them because they had no belief of their own. So I'm going to believe that somebody walked on the moon. I'm going to believe that the earth is round. I'm going to believe that I have to eat. And I'm going to believe that I have to give you my children plus all my money. Because that's what you said I have to do. Not I, but them. And that's what they want you to do. They want you to believe in what they say, so they're empowered. If we all stood up and realized and called bullshit, what would happen?
They'd have to shut it down.
They'd have to shut
They
it
would.
down.
There's not an acceptable loss there for, and that's what I thought they were going to storm Area 51 for a minute. I'm like, something's going to happen. They're going to demand some information, but they let that go. And I'm like, shit, we could have learned some stuff. But it probably would have resulted in a lot of
Area 51's pretty interesting.
It is.
Area 51, Area 6. They study the sixth plane of your reality in that place. They study the laws of the universe. That's why people think they're studying extraterrestrials. They're studying the different planes of your reality, where they may encounter higher intelligences and stuff like that. But how do you think we learn the UFO technology? It's by harnessing and learning about the laws of our universe and understanding them. Because those UFOs, those unidentified objects, they're all ours.
Yeah.
Sure.
They're all ours.
Oh, yeah. That's also a good theory. I always suggested it's a theory. That's science. That's how we work things out. And that's a good way to go about it. And you're probably fucking right about that. They ever heard about the military graveyard full of the shit that we pumped millions of dollars and trillions of dollars into? It's just dead and rotting in a field somewhere.
But the thing is,
a problem too.
But you're not getting the whole funny part about the whole story is you pumped fake shit into it. You paint the fuck money into this whole bunch of stuff for something else funk, and it's all bullshit. Like all of our minerals are godly, and inside minerals of the pyramid are gold and silver and stuff from the land, copper. That's us.
It is. And we don't have any business fighting anymore. We really don't. We don't have any business fucking killing each other anymore with this shit. We
Nobody
have
has money.
Call of Duty. We can fucking get our aggression out in a good way, but I don't know. Greed, gods, these crazy things perpetuating people to chew each other apart with machine guns for fun. Terrible.
Nobody has money. Nobody
just
needs or wants nothing.
Everyone's going crazy right now. Right now, everyone, for a while, everyone's been looking for something to believe in. That's one of the most empowering things I've ever heard. Everyone's just looking for something to believe in. So be something that they can believe in. Be something positive that they can believe in. Because that's really one of the main things everyone's doing around here. Just running around trying to find something they can believe in that fulfills them. And it's like, you gotta be a positive belief. And that's my name. Believe me not, though. I'm telling you not to believe me.
Yeah. So why can't the positive belief be yourself? Why don't you just look in the mirror and believe that? Even though you're not looking at yourself, but
That's what I try to tell everyone. I'm just a reflection of self. I always say in my lives, I don't exist. I'm a dead man walking, as they say. I've already passed. I'm from elsewhere. I'm an alien.
I agree. I won't say I'm a human, and I agree completely.
I don't
I
feel
agree.
very human.
They're
I don't feel very
confused.
human either.
They say talk about something, and I said, what can we talk about? They say talk about what's going on in the world right now. And the only thing I could talk about what's going on in the world right now is how dumb people are. Ignorance is bliss, and they really are afraid of fear. And fear is what? The unknown. You know a whole bunch of nothing, and you're afraid of knowing nothing more.
Oh, yeah.
They're all just stuck in hell on earth. They all live on hell on earth and don't even realize it.
And that's so
Living in
true.
fear.
Very few
Separation.
people got the message right too. I kind of grew up with South Park, and I'm heavily inclined to agree with them on a lot of things. Sometimes they have a way of saying it that almost brings levity. Someone could say something horrible to me regarding whoever the hell I am, if I got makeup on or what. But if they did it with a joke and I knew them and there was levity to it, it'd be a totally different outcome to that situation. Like humor can bond us together without being malicious and vicious and destructive. And I think humans need to find that again, that humor.
Yeah, I was one of them
They take
people.
it so seriously.
I was a little bit of a bigger boy when I was younger. I was one of them people who used humor as a way to cope. I would always find a laugh in something, but it's like, laughing's good, being happy's good, but you got to learn to be serious. You can't make everything a joke.
Yeah, for sure. You got to have a little bit of.
If you loved yourself and freed yourself from all the thoughts of others and just gave yourself an ideal all by itself, you wouldn't be so depressed.
No.
Truthfully,
Good.
you're stuck in the others' belief systems. You got others' thoughts running through your head, as they say.
For sure.
We're all empaths. Empaths is just picking up on another person's thoughts. However, some people are more empathic than others because they'll actually identify with that thought and feel that thought. There's other people who would just let it flow and not think about it.
Yes.
And everyone can try to be more empathetic. You can hear that word and you can put those things into practice, even if you're not an empath. I mean,
Truthfully.
holy crap. We had some people say some nasty, raunchy shit in the comments on this show a couple of times. And why would you even do that? Like, I'm not going to say what it was, but holy shit. Like,
because they're miserable with themselves. And when you're miserable with yourself, you reflect. And reflection, everybody's a mirror, like you said. And reflecting off of what you feel inside of you, you push off to others so they can feel it too. Nobody wants to do something alone.
My point with that is that that causes people to skip constructive criticism, understanding, or anything, and just head right to an attack. And a lot of people are really apt to do that, and it's such a bummer.
Yeah, a lot of people, they're just out to hate, attack. They're not out to give constructive criticism or help you out. They're like, oh, fuck this person. Why'd they just say
that? Could be warranted in the right situation. Anger is a gift, said Rage Against the Machine. So if you can come at somebody who's like hurting someone or spreading some insane, horrifying information, come at them hard, but manage your battles, I guess, because it can really be positive, be overwhelmingly positive.
And I didn't even know what gaslighting was until recently. And it's just another word for someone to give somebody to make something make sense. People are assholes, basically. Until you learn to love yourself, you're going to be an asshole.
Oh, yeah. Until you find yourself, you're going to have people trying to tell you who you are. That's the main thing. Until you know who you want to be, what you find yourself to be, what you want to embody, other people are going to come in your life and try to tell you who you are, what you are. And it's like, in today's day and age where there's so much shit going around, it's hard to find yourself. So most of the time people are met with other people telling them what they are, what they should be. And it's like, no one has that power but you. Only you get to decide what you are. That's what we need to realize.
And if you're not in that position to realize that, there is resources out there that can help you have a better day. Henry does some he talks to people that are addicts and that were once addicts or still addicts and helps them with their thoughts to help them be positive and love themselves.
That's a hard one. I try to talk to as many people. I do as publicly as much as I can. I talk to a lot of addicts and alcoholics. I've sponsored people for a long time, but that can be a dangerous slope too, because sometimes people will come at you and they will be unreachable, and it gets scary and shit. So I want to set up some kind of thing with Unseen Twisted Truth, so we have like a big social network for addiction or something. I've been talking about it for a while, but I've wanted to talk about that in branch out because I'm not a licensed therapist, nor do I think I'm ever going to get a degree in it.
Nobody's licensed. Who are you licensed to, Henry? Who are you licensed to?
What I licensed to? Well, what I do offer is I have a very particular set of skills that makes me a nightmare for addiction. No, I have a lot of experience.
But I'm just saying, the average person who is licensed to become a therapist, who licensed them? The government?
I don't know, because you can sponsor people through these AA and 12-step programs, and I don't really understand what the difference besides the degree is. You get into the thing is you can get into territory that's real dangerous and can put people at risk. So we always have to be careful about how we talk to. There's a term called armchair psychologists, and that can lead to things. But therapy, at the bottom line, is therapists do try to gear you to think positively for yourself, to get better, to heal mentally. And then the way we keep that going is by society fixing itself and talking and communicating, because that's what happens. People start listening to each other.
This podcast is therapy, sweetheart.
Right. Absolutely. It's
technically
therapy.
If you look at the definition of what a therapist is, we are therapists. We giving people a place to vent, a resource to come on and talk about things, and they'll feel better at the end. We don't write pills neither, so don't worry. I mean, you won't break the law, Henry, by talking to people. And if you
it's just,
who fucking cares? But anyway,
it's a disclaimer. It's part of a joke, but it's part of reality too. Because I always tell people to seek therapy, but I want to do something to help make that easier. I've had therapists ghost me. I've had therapists ghost my wife, my partner, and like, it's nuts. Sometimes they drop you. It's hard to get. It's expensive. And there should be more rehab facilities. We got bombed out buildings in Detroit we could turn into them. It's just, nuts.
And then we got Gino's thing, and that's Divine Order. And Gina she helps people with who've been trauma survivors and victims of trauma, and they help you find resources and whatnot. They give you the right step to heal. So if you have trauma bonds and you're dealing with some form of trauma, there's people out there that are willing to help you, but it all starts with you. You got to willing to be wanting to help yourself. If you don't want to receive any form of help or change, you're not going to get it.
Oh, for sure. I mean, this is good too. And having these social networks where we have outreach for this doesn't let things like that solely fall on one person. Like, say, hey, this person's really depressed. What can we do here? Let's send them resources. Sometimes that's hard to tackle by yourself. I never realized that somewhat lately. That's accountability too. I'm trying to be, but it's scary. Addiction's scary. And I've noticed that everybody seems to be almost severely clinically depressed. And they come at me with I'm a little sad, but I'm life-endingly depressed. And so many of them. And it's just nuts.
Because like Hayden said, it's trauma bonds. They have this bond.
Yeah.
The thing is with your body, medically with your body. I'm only going to speak as a pharmacy tech and as a CINA, nothing else that I wasn't licensed for by the government. But as your body, there's comforting spots, and you put off these dopamines, and you put the dopamines off when you are in this state. Your body does naturally. Fear is one. It's not a great dopamine, but it's something people do a lot of it to put it off. It's almost like an adrenaline. And your body gets comfortable within that spot that they don't want to grow and change from it.
Yeah.
So
we get stuck with trauma bonds, codependency, money is another big one that causes a lot of depression for everybody, especially since it's so hard to get and everything's so expensive.
Yeah.
Money's fake though. Why is it the fakest thing people believe and want the most of?
What's that?
The fakest stuff in this world.
Oh yeah. Shit. I don't know. I'm happy going to the thrift store, everyone.
Shit so much that they'll do anything for it. They will kill for this fake ass shit.
Everyone's got to lower their standards. Oh, that sounds bad, doesn't it? You don't have to lower your standards. Maybe your expectations. That's just what I did.
Not even. If you love yourself enough, maybe you got to raise your standards and you love yourself the most.
Yeah, maybe you're not going. Maybe you're not aiming high enough. You got to aim
That's
a
what
little
it is,
high.
Henry. You got to love yourself a little more.
You can bust ass. I've seen people bust. I've had a lot of people come to me saying they just can't meet ends meet and they're working 70 hours a week. Like so many of those people, I'm like, really? You should be able to park your side by side on your friggin' yacht. And it's just like maybe they don't want you to get ahead. Maybe that's the way they do it. You know, and they make it very hard.
Don't. It's a system built to suppress you, built to keep you living hell on earth. They don't want you having fun. They want you spreading hate, separation, not loving yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you don't love yourself, if you don't love the situation you're in, how are you going to love another individual or show another individual love for what situation they're in?
Facts.
Yeah. And then, you know, God forbid you're one of the few people who was traumatized by the Bud Light debacle, which showed America the true colors are alcoholism. That's what people really care about. And then it keeps you pretty dumb when you're an alcoholic.
Because it makes you comfortably numb. It gives you a false sense of reality. It gives you a false sense of reality.
Yeah,
nobody wants to deal with what is real.
Addiction robs you of that. It just kills you of that. And they got people convinced that that's okay. That's okay to be a functional alcoholic. And there's no damn thing. There's no such thing as a functional alcoholic. I don't care how functional you are. It will catch up with you in one way or another.
Think of how many TV shows that were launched in the 2000s. Every single one had an alcoholic. They've been pushing this agenda forever. You know, they banned fucking weed, but they never banned alcohol. Alcohol is supposedly good. It supposedly can be a medicine. No, it literally causes depression. It numbs your sensors. It makes you become almost brain dead. Worse than any type of weed I've ever had.
It's poison, and a glass of red wine, about a glass of red wine a night, is good for your heart. That's really about it. I mean, your blood pressure, and even then.
And speaking of weed, this is a pothead show, so you're allowed to smoke on the show. This is already set up, so it's not suitable for children under 18. And our middle monkey is smoking a joint on our podcast. So, like, I'd be smoking right now if I didn't share a room with my little 8-month-old grandbaby. So you can smoke on this show. This is a pothead show.
Nice. We'll roll up right now.
We're definitely friendly with that. I know you're not feeling the hottest, and I could tell that you would love to smoke right now.
Fun fact, weed helps with nausea and a multitude of other things.
Alcohol does not help nothing. It suppresses. They want to keep you suppressed. Alcohol actually is bad for your kidneys, your liver, your digestive tract. It's bad for the flow of your body, of your blood. It's bad for the oxygen you breathe. It's bad for every single thing. Alcohol does nothing good because people indulge.
Yeah.
Now, if you had 1 glass of wine a day, that's different. If you had a little bit of beer for the hops in it, that's different. But people don't do that. People never put little of nothing in their life.
Yeah, they're taking the whole case or the whole bottle to the door.
Yeah.
And that's because it's a false sense of reality. They're not happy with where they live and who they are and what they're doing and the choices they make. They're just going to continue making dumbass choices with something and try to suppress that.
And some people, I know someone who's really grief-stricken, trauma-stricken person I know, and they have all the symptoms of being an alcoholic, but they don't drink. You know, I've seen this person drink maybe a beer in one sitting and maybe even not finish it and shit. Some people aren't geared for alcoholism. I do believe it's biological quite a bit. But it's that depression cycle they're going through is kind of wild. But I think a lot of people are alcoholics. I think a lot of people have the propensity for it. It's genetic, and they keep pushing it. It just keeps going.
I know at one time in life I'd like to drink, and I have a very competitive energy. Like, I want to compete all the time on the dumbest things. So I know that I could be addicted if I did do it, because I caught myself at one time trying to go along neck to neck with somebody for 9 years. And I'm like, yeah, that's not cool. So I decided not to drink at all. I just don't want to. And the reason why is alcohol really is not made for us at all.
No.
It's like he said, it's poison. It's an elixir. It's a spell. It is. It's meant to keep you in your lower vibrational energies or entities, as people like to say. Everyone wants to say it's demonic possession, but it makes you become an asshole. It makes you become what you truthfully are. You know, you black out and you can't hold your tongue anymore. You start saying what you've been thinking all along. You know, it takes you to them dark places that are a part of you that you try to hide from.
And
Is
people
he
talk
return?
about this evil spirit like Lucifer and stuff. Well, we all have demons in us, and it's in us. The devil's in us.
Well, we
Whether
can't say
we
our
want to
first
believe it
thought.
or not, whether we like to believe it or not, we choose not to accept it. We choose not to feel that way. We all are rapists, killers, molesters, everything. If we chose to be.
Well, no, that's a deep faith, no, deep rabbit hole of free will and all of that stuff right there. That's like a whole other podcast, Kimberly.
It's the truth, though. People are
You-
talking about how this demonic spirit and this evil entity and stuff. It is within self.
The propensity, you say people have propensity. Like, would serial killers have killed people if they were raised differently?
Yeah.
You think
Because
so?
yes, and it's what they want to do. It's their choice of what they're going to do. It's what they signed up for before they came here. Everybody signed up for something.
Right. Well, I'm a serial killer. I just haven't started yet.
Okay.
Maybe in another life.
And
Right.
then
Woe be. I don't know. The government's probably looked into that one. They don't actually shut me down. I'm going to eat my words, but I don't get blocked. And I say some fucked up shit on Facebook. And I think it's just because I word it really hypothetically, but I don't know. I'm really been straddling the line, so I'm back.
Yeah, in about like 6 or so years, I'll have some interesting stories to share with everyone, my online fan base. You know, how long you gotta wait till they can't use it against you.
Right. What is your plan with it? I was good. We kind of got onto all kinds of tangents. but
I
what
think
is-
it's to each his own. I think they're biased, and I don't think it's supposed to be 7 years, but I don't think there's a real direct number. I think they pick and choose when to do it and who to do it to.
Mhm.
Interesting.
That's true. That's probably true.
Because
So-
I've lived a lot of years in my 19 years.
You have, and we die all the time. So like, and come back again. And every time you see something, you release something, and to get something, you're dying again to come back and find yourself again.
We
Yeah.
genetically replace all our cells, you know. So.
My first time ever doing shrooms, I did 2.5 grams in a chocolate bar. And when
Oh,
you take it in a chocolate bar, it hits a little more. So I did all of that my first time, and I can tell you, I think I died probably 10 times that night.
Yeah, you have been way out there. Holy shit, huh?
My first ever time doing it, and I was younger too, so it hits you even more. And I'm not on any antidepressants. I've been raw dogging it through life. So those mushrooms, they really hit me hard.
Yeah, raw dogging it. That's a hard one to do too.
It is.
We're going natural.
I don't trust my government, So I don't want them putting chemicals in my body. I got my herbs; they'll help me.
You
There's
eat
a
Taco
lot of
Bell,
them are
that's enough
derivative.
chemicals. When you eat that Taco Bell, that's enough they're putting in you already.
I love my Taco Bell, man. That's my guilty pleasure. Ain't gonna lie. Them nacho fries, the burritos.
We're allowed to do that. We just can't eat it for every meal.
I know it's bad.
It is bad.
Everybody's got a vice.
It makes the stomach really hurt afterwards. That night. It's like you don't get to sleep. It's like, look at what you did to yourself.
But well, there's a Crunchwrap. If someone brought me home a Crunchwrap, it's pretty much guaranteed you're getting lucky. I mean, that's how it goes. And the fire sauce, forget about it.
Oh well. What are you gonna do? You're gonna die anyways.
Right.
You might as
Eat
well
Taco
enjoy
Bell,
your
watch
time
Taco
here.
Bell.
That's what I'm saying.
You're here to experience. Don't limit yourself.
So what's the next step? What's the next step that people
Yeah.
should get looking for? Like, not like what's the future hold, because whatever, people ain't gonna believe you anyways. But what's the next step? What do you want to do? What is your thing? What is your mission here to do?
So I'm a triple water sign. I got pure healing energy, pure love. My entire chart, it's like My grandma paid. She paid for one of my astrology readings from one of her friends who's really good at astrology. She mixes like ancient astrology with new age astrology, so you kind of get like two charts into one. And she goes into a whole bunch of stuff. She showed me like 7 different charts. I didn't know what any of them meant, truthfully. But I learned that I had a pretty much pure healing energy. My main 3 signs, it was triple water, all healing. And then all of my other placements were all the houses and stuff. It was all like in spirit and psychical stuff. Like I'm supposed to not care about this body whatsoever. I'm here to do like crazy shit, be a psychic, teach people, help people, heal people. All of my energy is laid out to do that. So I've seen myself for a while now. I've always imagined I'll have my own treatment center. It's going to be really cool, I imagine like little pyramids in the woods. That's how I'm going to have it. And I'm hoping maybe eventually I'll be one of them people like Bashar, Dolores Cannon, where I'll have such a big following. I can do like conventions and events, and like I'll get to teach people on a larger scale. And then hopefully once I get to that level, I'll have good friends. I'll have people who are also experts of their craft, and I can invite them up there. They can teach about stuff they expertise in, because I'm only 19 at this point. I've lived a lot of life, but I know I don't know everything, and there's people who are expertises in their craft. I'm a spiritual guy. I care about your soul. I don't care about this body. There's people who care about your body. They know about the human connection to all the spiritual stuff and how it works. And it's like, I get people who specialize in those kind of things to come on, and I just want to be a platform for real information and healing the world.
So I'm opening up a treatment center for cancer because everything causes it, and it's weird that everything causes it when we can heal it if we just want to and cleanse ourselves and change how we feel, eat, and see things. Because mucus causes every disease.
I believe I'll eventually be able to heal it. I think cancer is limited. It's a disease, so it's all about your beliefs. You got contradiction within yourself.
Yeah.
I hope I can figure out the keys, and I'll become, Yeshua in the flex. I can heal people with diseases like that.
And I believe that because I'm opening this treatment center, and I'm going to have many different things, and there's going to be aromatherapy. There's going to be places for people who listen to things because sound makes a difference. There's going to be smells, touches, everything. There's going to be sensory rooms where people can go in, work lacking themselves.
We don't have to castrate modern medicine to have these things. We don't have to charge up the ass for it. We can mix these ideals together and have a wonderful healers.
Well, everything's going to be in a barter system. I don't believe in that monetary need anyhow. So everything's going to be in a barter system. You want
right? Well, that works too.
Come heal yourself.
We can get together and we can turn the tide of not only probably cancer, we can turn in all kinds of illnesses that a lot of people are smashing Hot Pockets, and sadly Taco Bell, I do it too once in a while. And then they say, man, I feel like shit, and the call's coming from outside, but they turn to drugs to feel better about it and all kinds of shit. And I love eating out of the yard now. It's been so good. Everything, I'm pay attention to your shit and do that, and it does help. It keeps your mind a little bit freer. And we need these centers. We need these communities and people growing food and feeding the system, a better system.
Yeah, I mean, I'm young. I know, especially our system, the meat that we produce, it's not necessarily good for you. Meat's not necessarily bad for you, but the meat that we produce nowadays is completely bad for you. Right. Meat's a good thing for you. It has vitamins as long as it's not the meat that gets produced in our farms nowadays.
Right. Support your local farmers.
Say if it was like an organic chicken, like we raise chickens, we got a whole bunch of chickens, mostly for the eggs. We don't, unless something naturally happens, we don't kill them off. But we got them for the eggs and stuff like that. But I know that I'm young, I want to enjoy life, so I'm enjoying my Taco Bell and meat while I can. But actually, when I
Sure.
eventually move out, I plan on moving out within the next month, hopefully, if I start making enough money and I can get a place. It's kind of expensive here in Florida. I live in Florida, like I said,
Henry. And Henry,
$990 a month for like a
Wow.
small apartment. It's like, come on.
How do you do anything? How are you
that's
supposed
what
to?
Henry. That's what Henry pays right now. He's in Florida too.
It's rough
What?
out here. It's like, what do you want from us?
Henry's in Florida.
I'm not in Florida. I'm in Michigan, hun.
No, Richard. I'm sorry.
Okay, I was making sure there. I was really confused.
Richard. He changed his name, remember? So I was trying to figure out what his other name was. Makai, Malik, or something.
Enjoy your shit. I wish I would have got the picture when I was 19. I wish I never had that first drink. I wish I'd have done a lot of things good. This is so good that you got yourself on a good path this young. And I've never tried to make this interview about your age either. I look at you as like an equal.
Yeah.
You speak eloquently. You know what you're talking about, and good for you, man. That's awesome. I'm happy for you. And people
I
need that.
appreciate you.
Henry, stop. I'm sorry, but stop saying that you wish something didn't happen to you because you signed up for that and you've learned from it. So you wouldn't have learned that lesson if you didn't go through it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I wish it would have been an easier couple lessons, but we
No.
learn from them all the same.
No lesson's easy. No storm we go through is going to be easy.
No, we just got to take it away from that.
If anything in this life was supposed to be easy, we wouldn't have signed up for it.
Yeah, this life is, I don't want to be here sometimes. It's like I'm ready to go home. This life is definitely pretty difficult, pretty dire, but it's the polarity, it's the duality. Like we signed up for this negativity practically. We were cocky motherfuckers. We thought we could handle this, and we can't take it back now. We signed up for this, whether people want to say it or not. You chose this life. You have free will. You have free will at every second. If you're not happy, you could make the change.
You can
Gotta-
make a change.
Gotta be what you want to be.
As
Yeah,
shitty as
be
it may
careful
be,
with it.
you may feel that you're stuck. You're never stuck. We're not trees. We're connected to the trees, but we're not them.
No. Get that free will, the free will stuff. Don't try not to go down those rabbit holes too far either. Just be happy that you can choose to eat ice cream at 2 a.m. if you want. That's a fun thing. Don't get stuck up thinking, well, a sniper is going to kill me on this date or something like that. Can lead you down some insane pathways. So manage that when you learn about free will and stuff. That's a weird point I just have to make.
Man, I always tell people who have thoughts like those, if you're gonna go crazy about something like that, learn about quantum immortality. Learn about how there's a way where you can never die.
Right.
You never truthfully die. Like I said, this life, it's not life. They got you under the spell of the ages. They got you think this is living, that you were born, that this is your reality. This is like an illusion. This is more of an illusion than what your higher self is, your higher mind is.
For sure.
And these radio signals, if you record a song or something like that and put it out there, it's going to be bouncing off the planets forever. It's going to be lost out there in the radio waves and signals. So you've implanted yourself in history. Don't use that as an excuse to opt out early.
Do you think this is going to keep going forever and ever and ever and ever?
Well, you can quantify that. Scientists will tell you the exact answer to that, which I'm not prepared to, but I know that these sound waves, when they bounce off, they say that TV static is the Big Bang Theory's residual effects on everything. And you can take away what that is if you want, but that static does come from somewhere.
Oh yeah, well, energy never dies, but this world, we're killing it. So nothing's going to last forever.
But if you'd even do that, even if your little song or whatever, your ditty you put on or your TikTok video or your podcast gets sent out there, it's probably going to be floating around a lot longer than you, and we can really embody that. And wait till we start putting ourselves into AI systems. Uh-oh.
Yeah, that'll be rough.
That's probably next. That's a possible one.
They want people.
I need a
They want
mechanized
people
panel
shipping
system.
themselves.
Yeah, that's scary stuff. No one's prepared for that. Oh,
I don't know how I feel about all that stuff. It's not natural. That's not how life was meant to be lived. You're not supposed to have a chip in your brain, but
oh no.
I think AI in itself it's just another tool to our experiences. It's either going to be used to fearmonger, it's going to be used for bad, or it can be used for good. It's how nothing is defaultly good or bad. It's when we, the humans, identify and use it that it becomes good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
And that's the same thing with AI. It's AI. It's literally made of us. We made it. It can't be evil. Made in the image of. It was made of us.
It's our baby, and it could end up just being they made a bunch of Terminator movies. I always say that. There's a few movies about why it's a bad idea, but what are you going to do? It was inevitable. Well, that's what you're going to do. Gosh,
I don't want to keep him on here too long because he is not feeling his best.
No, yeah.
So I appreciate you coming on, and we have the Love Trade coming up, the barter exchange event coming up Saturday on I don't ever remember the name of that road. Prentice 417 Prentice. Thank you.
In Detroit, Michigan. Lovely Detroit, right?
In Detroit, Michigan. So come on and down. It's only $10. It's an outside event. We're gonna do it rain, sleet, snow. It doesn't matter. Hurricane, tornado, whatever. It's come show some love and listen to some good music. Our Henry's gonna be performing. Our Joe's gonna be performing. My simpatico, son Joey's gonna be performing. So a lot of our local artists and friends and family of Unseen Twisted Truth are going to be performing. ID Cypher is going to be performing. So it's our people. So come out and our Jabrel. Our Jabrel is actually throwing it on. So come on out and support. And then October 19th, we've got the Okay for Everyone Eats. It's going to be at the Rec Center in Detroit. We're going to give back that day. So we're going to have free haircuts, showers, clothes. Eddie Bauer donated some stuff. They're going to have a place for you to be able to eat. And there's going to be a basketball tournament going on. It's the last day of the tournament. So come on out and enjoy that day. I'll get the address and get the flyers made here shortly. And that's going to be on the 19th of December. So, and I think that's all we got coming up right now. And then get a hold of Divine Order if you have anybody that's been in trauma or some kind of domestic situation or something within yourself or someone else, some kind of survivor or something. Please get a hold of Divine Order because they will help you. They will give you the resources and show you the directions how to go and where to go because they know. If you don't know, somebody else may know so that they know. So get a hold of them. That's Gina Adams with Divine Order. You can find her anywhere. Anything else? And Henry does a lot of support too for people that are recovering alcoholics or they're drug addicts, or if you aren't recovering and you want to learn how to stop and get help, Henry gives you resources and he knows different places. And he has a thing where he knows where all the AA meetings, almost all the AA meetings.
I'm working on that. What I can do is I can always help you look one up in your area. I can always find resources to put some work in trying to find resources for you. And then I can always get phone numbers and stuff too. And I always have some helpful suggestions on that. I desperately want to see everybody do better. No judgment, all love.
And then our friend Hayden here, he's here for a reason. His journey is here to help you heal. So if you need something, give him a call, right? Find him on TikTok and Instagram on Believe Me Not and get a hold of him. And I'm sure he'd love to answer some questions for you. He answered me right away. So get on there and show him some love. Be respectful. He is 19 in this time around, and he could have been your dad one day. You never know. So be nice. People. Stop being such assholes to this young man.
I appreciate y'all having me on here. Much love.
You're welcome.
Sending love your way.
Yes.
And may every kind words.
And may everyone's day be full of positive energy and high vibrations. And ashe, everyone.
Ashe, everybody.
Say much love.
Much love.
Thank y'all for having me.